Log entry. This week's pages hold a railway carriage at Compiègne, a White House tape, a bomber's fatal descent, manuscripts found behind a sealed wall, a Soviet ultimatum, a hijacked airliner, and the joining of two famous engines into one name. In 1940, one scene of surrender was arranged with deliberate memory. France was compelled to sign the Second Compiègne Armistice with Germany in the same railroad car where the Germans had signed the armistice in 1918. The place and the object were part of the message. The armistice of 22nd June 1940 placed France under terms dictated by Nazi Germany during World War II. That repetition of setting turned a military defeat into a ritual of reversal, and history was made to witness itself. The record began speaking in another room entirely. U.S. President Richard M. Nixon and White House Chief of Staff H.R. Haldeman were taped discussing the illegal use of the Central Intelligence Agency to obstruct the Federal Bureau investigation connected to Watergate. The conversation happened inside the White House, with power close at hand and language doing quiet work. It mattered because the scandal was preserved in the voices of its own participants, making concealment part of the evidence. In 1994, a familiar heavy aircraft became the center of a sudden loss. A Boeing B-52 Stratofortress crashed at Fairchild Air Force Base near Spokane, Washington, and 4 people were killed. The machine, the base, and the crew were bound together in a single violent moment. The crash remains one of those military aviation events studied for what it showed about risk, judgment, and the cost of failure. In 1900, the week turns from wreckage to a wall opened in silence. The Taoist monk Wang Yuanlu discovered the Dunhuang manuscripts in the Mogao caves of Dunhuang, China, revealing a cache of ancient texts. The find linked one caretaker, one cave complex, and an extraordinary body of writing. Their historical and religious significance made the discovery a major turning point for the study of the region's past and its traditions. Another page records pressure delivered as policy. Under the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, the Soviet Union presented Romania with an ultimatum, requiring it to cede Bessarabia and the northern part of Bukovina. The action belonged to the wider upheaval of World War II, and to the territorial logic of larger powers. It mattered because frontiers and lives can be reordered by forceful demand long before a shot was seen in the archive's frame. A passenger route became an international crisis in mid-journey. Air France Flight 139, traveling Tel Aviv to Athens to Paris, was hijacked en route to Paris by the PFLP and redirected to Entebbe, Uganda. What had begun as civil air travel was carried into a hostage drama known through the later Entebbe raid. The hijacking entered history as a stark example of how aviation, politics, and armed groups converged in a confined human space. In 1926, the final page of this week's set concerns industry rather than conflict. Mercedes-Benz was formed by Gottlieb Daimler and Carl Benz, merging their two companies. Two automotive lineages were brought under one name that would travel far beyond its founding moment. The merger mattered because brands like states and archives can outlast their makers and become part of everyday technological history. Same page, same time next week. Which discovery here surprised you most? Name it.